Welcome back, everybody. This is Retro Replay with a retro review of Faceball 2000 for the Nintendo Game Boy. Faceball 2000 was released in North America in December of 1991, developed by Xanth Software FX, and published by Bulletproof Software. Before starting the game, they do give you a couple options here to choose your character sprite, although you never get to see them yourself in the game. And you also get a couple different options of game types. We're going to start here with the Cyberscape game type. The Cyberscape game type has 6 different difficulties and 70 different levels to play through. It starts off with very easy tutorial levels and then increases in difficulty as you go along. This game, at its very base, is a rudimentary first-person shooter that is an absolute miracle that they were even able to put this on the Game Boy. Faceball 2000 was also released for the Sega Game Gear, the Super Nintendo, and actually the TurboGrafx CD. Considering the Game Boy is the weakest hardware out of all those systems, I have to imagine this is probably the worst version of this game. And just by looking at this footage, I mean, the gameplay is so slow. The frame rate is probably around 3 to 5 frames per second, if I'm being generous. The controls are extremely sluggish. The shooting responsiveness is terrible. I was just slamming on the A button trying to shoot, and it would just, every once in a while, it will shoot the bullet out. But it's very difficult to control. And as you get later in the game, the enemies are firing shots at you all the time, but you can't dodge out of the way. And there's points where they would spawn me in front of 3 enemies, and they're all shooting at me as soon as I spawn. I mean, this has to be the invention of spawn killing, because they're just all over you and will kill you in 2 seconds. Now, with that said, there are definitely some positives about this game. First of all, like I said earlier, it's a miracle that they were even able to create this on the Game Boy. Even though they were able to create this on the Game Boy, maybe they should have stopped and asked the question, should we create this? Because it is pretty bad. Now, the technology is quite impressive. I mean, it's amazing that they were able to do this, but the gameplay is just so bad. But with that said, and it's amazing how times have changed, I went back and looked at some reviews of this game, and GamePro magazine actually gave this a 5 out of 5 perfect score upon release. Some other positives about the game are the sheer number of levels that they added in here. There's also a variety of enemies. I think there's like 5 or 6 different types of enemies. Some of them stand still and shoot randomly. Some of them move around and shoot. Some of them don't shoot at all. They just move around and try to run into you. Some of them take more than 1 hit to kill. Some of them seek you out and try to kill you as they move around. There's also some variety in the level design. There's floor switches to hit to open doors. There's keys defined to open doors. There's orbs floating around that you can get different kinds of items out of, like the keys or band-aids to heal yourself. So there is some variety in the levels, but just looking at it, you know, they all look the same. And the draw distance is so terrible, you can't figure out where you're going. But like I just showed there, you can pull up a menu quickly and look where you're going on the map, but you know, that's about it. And the map actually is one of the easier ways to find your way around. You can actually move around in the map like this and find your way around that way instead of trying to fumble around through these levels. Now, I definitely had this game as a kid. I remember making my parents take me to go get it, because I remember reading GamePro magazines and all these other gaming magazines at the time, and they showed screenshots of this game. Obviously, they couldn't show video. There was no internet then or anything like that. So I was just looking at screenshots as an 11-year-old kid, and I was absolutely blown away by this game. Well, at least by the screenshots, and that they could do this on the Game Boy. It was incredible. So I had to have it, and I made my parents take me to go get it. I probably played it for an hour once I got it, and then never played it again. Now, one thing I cannot review in this game is the multiplayer. This game actually supports the 4-player multi-tap for the Game Boy, and you can play 4-player deathmatch in this game, that's absolutely incredible to me. I don't think I was ever able to do that as a kid because I didn't have any friends that also had the game, so I never got that opportunity, but you can actually play this 4-player in an arena-style deathmatch. Now, that might be the redeeming quality of this game, but again, I couldn't review that part of it. Now, after I finished that level, I wanted to go and try this arena mode, and this is actually where the 4-player multiplayer takes place also. But what it allows you to do is select a level of difficulty, which changes the types of enemies that are in the map with you, and then there's a few options for the type of map you can create. And you just go in and play an arena-style match where you have to kill all the enemies. That's really all there is to it. They spawn me in here, there's enemies right on top of me, and they kill me immediately, and I'm dead. This was one of the worst parts of the game. But I'm going to wrap this up here. This was just a quick retro review of Faceball 2000 for the Nintendo Game Boy. If you enjoyed the video, please click that like button and consider subscribing to the channel to help me out. I appreciate it, and I hope you all have a good day. Thank you.